9 people were killed after Russian missile strike a restaurant in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kramatorsk. Authorities said that 42 people were injured due to the attack. Emergency workers were seen looking for survivors as residents stood outside embracing and surveying the damage from the missile. The building was reduced to a twisted web of metal beams due to the strike. Another missile hit a village on the fringes of the city, injuring 5 people. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has asked the Russian mercenary group Wagner to share their war experience with Belarus if they wish to move to the country. Lukashenko had brokered a deal last week that ended a mutiny by the Wagner fighters. The group was allowed to either join the Russian armed forces or move with their leader Yevgeny Prigozhin into exile in Belarus. A part of Wagner's forces is said to be moving to Belarus. Lukashenko has suggested that his military could pick up some of the mercenaries' combat experience obtained in Ukraine and elsewhere. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko received an unusual gift from the country's defense minister before the starting of a routine meeting. A mini replica of a Soviet-era nuclear bomb was gifted to Lukashenko. The dummy bomb is an exact replica of the first ever nuclear bomb produced by the Soviet Union in 1949. Defense minister regarded this as a symbolic gesture towards the country's president. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has said that events in Russia show that divisions in the country have grown following the invasion of Ukraine. Stoltenberg made the remarks on Tuesday and said that Ukraine's allies should still not underestimate Moscow. The comments came after a working dinner with the leaders of few NATO member states in The Hague. The NATO chief also said that it's too early to speculate on the effects of the move of Wagner troops to Belarus. He stressed that the alliance is ready to defend itself against any threat. A Russian naval corvette ship has downed an anti-ship cruise missile using air defense weapons during a test sail. 15 naval ships and auxiliary vessels of the Russian Pacific Fleet carried out drills in the Sea of Japan. The area where the tests were performed had been closed to commercial shipping. Lithuania's President Gitanas Nausėda has announced that the country is in the process of purchasing NAMA's air defense systems for Ukraine. The estimated cost for these air defense launchers are over $10 million. According to Lithuania's defense ministry, the new defense systems will be handed over to Ukraine within the next 3 months. Kiev has long been urging the allied countries to help strengthen their air defenses in the face of Russian aggression on military and civilian targets. On the other hand, Norway is also set to supply maintenance equipment for these launchers. Pentagon announced a new military package worth $500 million for Ukraine on Tuesday. The package will include ground vehicles, including broadly fighting vehicles, Striker armored personnel carriers, and munitions for high-mobility artillery rocket systems. Meanwhile, the U.S. also said that it will soon announce actions to hold the Wagner Group accountable. However, it clarified that this will be done over the mercenary group's prior activities in Africa. Swedish Foreign Minister Tobias Billström claimed that Sweden has fulfilled all the requirements set out by Turkey for joining NATO. Billström was speaking at a news conference along with British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. He referred to the implementation of the new terrorist act, which makes it illegal to participate in a terrorist organization in any way. Meanwhile, Cleverly assured him of UK support and said it would keep on pushing for Stockholm's membership in the 31-member alliance. Clashes broke out between police and the youth in Paris suburb of Nanterre on Tuesday. This came as tensions rose over the recent death of a local teenager who was shot by police during a traffic stop. According to local prosecutor's office, a 17-year-old boy was shot dead by a police officer for not stopping his car. The police officer responsible for the shooting has been charged with homicide. Reacting to this, the French Interior Minister said that they have launched a judicial investigation into this incident. French President Emmanuel Macron called the shooting an inexplicable and unforgivable event. China and New Zealand on Wednesday signed a string of agreements designed to boost trade between the two countries as their leaders met in Beijing for talks. New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins met Chinese Premier Li Qiang in Beijing. The meeting follows the Prime Minister's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. China and New Zealand signed a string of agreements designed to boost trade between the two countries. China has lambasted the US and Taiwan's increasing military interaction, saying their move was turning Taiwan into a powder keg. Now, Chinese comments came in light of the recently passed National Defense Authorization Act by the US Senate Committee on Armed Service, which will establish a comprehensive training, advising and institutional capacity building program for the military forces in Taiwan. Former United Nations ambassador and US presidential hopeful Nikki Haley called for drastically limiting ties with China to address the rise in fentanyl deaths in the country. Taking a hawkish stance on Beijing, Haley said that she will push the Congress to revoke permanent normal trade relations until the flow of the opioid stops from China. Fentanyl, whose ingredients are majorly produced by China, is smuggled over the US-Mexico border. It has led to a sharp rise in drug overdose deaths in the United States. The Cambodian police burned 5.2 tons of illegal drugs today, which were seized by the authorities in 2022. The drugs included heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, among other illegal addictive substances. The ceremonial burning of the seized drugs is done to mark International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, which was celebrated worldwide on Monday. Cambodia has strict laws in place for any kind of drug trafficking. According to the law of the land, any person found smuggling more than 80 grams of illegal drugs can be jailed for life. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.